What's up, everybody? CyberKnife here. Got an interesting little couple of games here. Very quick. This is really not going to be a long video, even though two of them in here. And this is kind of, I'm calling it, the tale of two cities kind of thing here. This just shows you that some games you can play very, very well in and lose, and then the next game you can play very, very well in and win. And I know we all kind of know that, but I just found this comparison kind of stark between these two games because I looked at the performance and what went on in these games as far as what I did, and definitely I made some misplays in this first game for sure. I'm not going to give everything away, but it's going to go along pretty quickly here. So I'll tell you my thinking. What I was deciding was normally on the big race, I love to be up north where the Tenryu and the Phoenix are now, way up on A7, 8, But I also see that there's not really much over here to help walk in these destroyers. So I decide to offer to help them, and they're happy for that. And we head on into the pocket, as I call it. And this is where I kind of make a mistake, because I'm looking up and I'm thinking, well, we got a Tenrai and a Phoenix up there, but look what's coming up to meet them. They're going to be within fire of all three of those. So right off the bat, it's at least a 3-on-2. The Dursky is going up there probably to help, but he's not gonna be able to do much. He has very short range torps, and he's just gonna get gunned down. He'll be able to peck away when no one's looking at him. So I'm starting to reconsider going in and found this guy. So I'm gonna try to offer him as much support as I can. My gun range is 16 kilometers, and that's pretty much, I could hit the Myogi over there almost, within 2. So that gives you an idea of how far I could hit the outside edge of their base cap circle. So I feel safe, like I can kind of give him a little support. Plus, I also see that the St. Louis is moving right in, and his guns will be just fine for close quarters in there with any DD. So now I'm trying to get up here to the other side to give a hand to the Tenryu, the Phoenix, and the Dursky up there. But unfortunately, I think that they're going to get outclassed, and pretty soon I find right off the bat we are going to lose our Tenryu. I wasn't really paying attention here. This is my bad. I just kind of cut this dude off. I was actually on guns trying to give a little support, taking shots at that Karlsruhe. I'll go on gun camera if you want to see these shots. I do like to fire AP at these guys. I was just a little over. One got spalling. If you see 300, he hits the brakes. So I bring it in a little. I'm just trying to give him a couple of shots. I actually stop moving because I realize he gets a break. These guys are kind of smart, when they do this speed changing. It really does mess you up. So I give pretty much what I can do. Using AP, you got to switch back to HE when he turns like that. You're not going to hardly do any damage on that German armor at that angle. Obviously, the Kazi's torps turned him. So I get a fire going on him. If nothing else, he's going to use that repair. So hopefully, maybe that helps. I don't know. But now it looks like, yeah. So now we got a second fire burning on him, and that's going to burn. So I turn my attention to now getting up there to helping what's left of our force. It's kind of running for it wisely. I'm still kind of, oh, no, actually I got distracted, and here's where I make another mistake. I get distracted again. Instead of, I'm still generally continuing on the way up there to help, and I'm saying that, but this, I got to take a shot at a DD when I see one. So at this point, I'm just realizing, crap, it's become a real emergency. That Phoenix did not get away. So I'm just kind of seeing if I can get anybody to come with me up north, kind of pinging it and asking for help, but spoiler alert, puppy game and low tier. I might get a little help, but I don't think so. That Wyoming, I'm asking him perhaps to consider turning around. I don't think he does. Not that it's his obligation to do it. I'm not like the friggin' commander in charge here, but it'd just be nice to check that mini-map out. Do we really need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys plus another battleship on the way to go fight one Dursky and one, Izajah? So I'm going after this St. Louis. I'm trying to do what I can to hold the line. This goofball is going backwards, which kind of screwed me up at first. I didn't really perceive that. He's only got 3k health, but somebody's pissed. This Phoenix is getting into my ass. I gotta turn quickly. Switching to AP. Just put the St. Louis down. He no big feed. He was pretty low in the first place. We do need to get rid of this Phoenix, so he hit the brakes as well. At this point, I probably should have switched to HE because I can do it so quickly, but I was hoping he was just gonna keep turning, which he did. Alright. I'm trying to tell that Wyoming I could use his help. So I'm realizing I got a whole nother Miyogi here to fight after I put this Phoenix down, which is not going to be cool. I gotta hurry up too, you know? I mean, this is like, you're like, Sinel, come on, baby. I've seen this guy before. He's just got this weird long string of numbers. I'm always suspicious of players like that. I feel griefers a lot of times do names like that so they can be harder to identify and report. So I just give up on him. I'm not even messing with that angle. I just want out of here. At this point, I just want to. I'm realizing that at 13, I can just take too much damage, and I'm bracketed between a Kawachi and a Miyogi, which I can't angle for both correctly, really. So I'm kind of humping the line here, trying to get some range. Let's take a look and see what's going on over here. Yeah, luckily this Kawachi is at 10. That's still really close. It looks farther because, see, these maps scale. That's what I like about this mod that I've got. If you look up in the corner, it's 3 kilometers. That 3 kilometers at A1, that just means each square is 3 kilometers long. Sometimes they're up to 5. I believe some of them might be bigger at high tier, but honestly, I don't play too much high tier because my highs are 7s and 8s now. So I do get pulled into 9s and 10s, but it's less frequent. You know, it's like, you know, maybe 1 out of every 3 games I play at 8. I only play tier 4 and 5 just for money and to warm up. Like, these 2 games are my first 2 games of the day, and after this, boom, I'm right into it. So now I'm basically saying, okay, we're kind of boned, right? But look, I've only got like 29 hits, 3 fires and 1 sink. So you don't want to go out like that, even on a loss. You can't get pissed and just say, screw it, game over. The game's not over, man. I mean, you know, you're going to lose, sure, but you don't necessarily have to die. And but even more so, you can still inflict a lot more damage. I got a full... Now, if I was like low health here, I would just hide. But I'm full HP, and I know basically right behind me, these guys think I'm running away from them. So I know by charging them head on and presenting them with a slim profile angled up nicely that I'm going to be able to really wail on these guys. And there's quite a little bit of time left. They think they've got it in the bag, so they're getting cocky, they're splitting up, they're going for cap. And what I'm doing right now is I'm banging away on cap, just resetting real quick, even though I've got these guys way down ahead. You see what I'm saying? I know that these guys are shooting at me, so I'm going to keep moving, but my main objective is to bang away on the one thing that's in cap, because right now I've got 2 resets, for example. Every single time you get a reset, it's quite a little big deal. You know, you actually can get quite a bit of XP out of that. So at this point, I know I'm going to lose this game, but I just don't want to go out with almost no XP. If I died right a minute ago, I would have probably been on the bottom or middle or God knows what, you know, of experience. So that's not how I want to play it. So I'm going to throw some torps at him. Narrow spread always. I repaired my gun. I don't normally do that, but right now I know I just need to bang away with maximum efficiency. And so that turns out to be a mistake. I really didn't think I was going to take another hit for my about, 50 seconds. I knew I could kind of get out of that, but I was figuring, I just figured that the Phoenix wouldn't be able to dial in on me. Now here's a second mistake I made. not immediately switching back to HE in this situation. That there went the torpedoes, just killed that guy. So then, boom, that's a double strike. So, you know, not the world's best play here. I'm going to lose basically an ass ton of health because of that, you know, early heal, you know, where I said, oh, I want to keep my guns all popping because I figured, hey, I can dodge that one guy for a minute. That was a really risky move. I was just trying because I knew I was going to really want all those guns working, but not really smart in that situation, especially in a situation like this. But I tend to do more kind of risky and silly things in areas like, now see, my repair's up, my steering's out again, so I'm going to use it for that. Keep moving, set him on fire. Karlsruhes are a bit of a problem. I usually do like to switch to AP on them, not just because he's low. Sometimes it's just a little hard at this tier to get this AP. The AP on the Phoenix is not particularly punchy, you know? It'll do for a Kuma's side, it'll do for a Phoenix's side, but you don't want to be hitting it angled, and it's definitely more difficult up close because you always hit, it's not fully plunging. The AP is better at long range. So here we are, I'm just trying to get up to the wall. I'm going to hump the wall here, just try to get into it for a couple of, I was hoping to get a Kraken, honestly. So I just got the one more guy, just got the last one I'm going to get probably, because I'm thinking, but I thought for sure I could get this darn Kuma, at least before they killed me, and get the Kraken out of it. And I'm really trying. I just cannot seem to land a Citadel. All of these are hitting. All 7 of those hit, not one Citadel. You know? Look at that. He's down to 500, and then I died just as that hit him. So I guess... Alright, I think I cut myself off on the last one, but whatever. So here we are in the next game, where I make some different choices. Now, you saw how on that one, the small choice of healing too early cost me a Kraken medal. I doubt I would have been able to, you know, solo and carry that game. But I sure would have had a lot better chance with, you know, 3/4 or half of my health. So basically, I cost myself a Kraken medal by an early heal. I'm not sure what I was thinking. I may have mistaken it too. I may have saw that symbol in the heat of battle and thought it was a, you know, fire or something. That's why I have that mod that has the flames on it. You know what I mean? Because there's some times where I just, in the heat of battle, I just am not really. I'm so carefully intent on computing in my mind what the ship is doing and what my rounds are doing and what's going on around me, what's coming at me, that I can't always look at the status of my ship like I want. That's why you'll notice in the center console, you see where I have my gun indicator, green for guns up, yellow for guns down, where everything's pointed. See, that's right up in the center. Normally it's down in the lower left, and it may seem like a very small thing, but having that right there where you can see at a glance, I can aim and in the same eyeball looking at it indicates to me how many guns I have on, how many guns are ready, the angle and attitude of my ship, all of that. So that, just moving that thing 6 inches across my screen and putting it up there has been just so, made a big impact on my play. I highly recommend it. I got a lot of these are from Aslan's. It's just like a smorgasbord. You just check it out and it'll show you. You know, you can even preview without putting it on your computer. It shows you a screenshot of what you're installing. So it'd been nice to have AP there. Not that I'm gonna hit him anyway. Didn't lead him enough for a basically a Kuma at that range at 14. I got to get him a double lead. So if it's saying 8 seconds to get there, I need to almost give him a, you know, probably a 15-second lead. So far that sometimes you can't even see the ship on the... Alright, here we go. But not... Am I a little out in front of him? I'm going to turn in. This is a pretty aggressive game. I'm going to bump out of my view for a second. I'm really scanning hard because I'm expecting this guy to show up at any minute. And he does. See, I'm still looking over there. Got a Phoenix popping up on radar, but he's quite a bit away. He's probably at least 9K away, maybe more. Yeah, 13. Okay, so here's the Dursky right there, and I've got a couple of torpedo bombers. They're not going for me, but I've got a couple out. So I've spotted the Dursky. Know that the torpedo bombers are off me. I took a took a big hit there. I believe it was the St. Louis that just unloaded a full, well-aimed barrage on me. So I'm pretty intent on getting this Dursky, and I underestimate right off the bat this St. Louis is a pretty good player. Usually St. Louis are not the brightest bulbs in the, I mean really, because they tend to be newer, you know what I mean? But then there are people that do keep them in their inventory and like to go down and play with them every now and then. I have one. I don't play it much, but when I'm playing with friends that haven't advanced too far up the tree yet, or they just like to play it, I'll break mine out. It's a fun thing. But look at that. Somebody just gave me a crack-a-lack. And so I'm figuring, well, if they're going to be shooting me from downtown, I believe what I was doing was I was just underestimating how close these guys were. I was thinking, looking at the mini-map, I've been playing on bigger maps, and that to me looks like 20, and no, it's more like 12 below. So I peel off of here real quick. Now I'm down to about a third health, and there are no heals on the Phoenix. I'll tell you what, I'd give my freaking left nut for a smoke charge. Just one. I mean, for Christ's sakes, the new Russian cruiser at Tier 8 Premium has one, and everybody's going to be getting superintendent skill and doubling that for 2. It would probably be, I mean, the Phoenix would be so overpowered if you gave it a, but I'm not that I'm complaining. I love overpowered ships. Murmansk. Anyway, so I'm kind of switching gears now. I took down their little derpski, so they are fresh out of destroyers, and that's pretty much was my job here. But now, with my limited health, this is one of my major issues, is not nursing my health pool. Can you see a common theme here? Some of my best games are where I'm really aware of my health pool, but I just got a little bit over aggressive on that Dursky, wanting to kill him, and underestimated how close those battleships were. And I believe it was the Wyoming that took a big 50% chunk out of me. That was a good 10,000 hit, which is a lot when you only have 24. So now we're banging away at this Cleveland. I don't shoot AP at Cleveland's in a Phoenix. You'll spall, you'll get 500 like all day long. 300, 500s or nothings. So I'm just going to try to pop some. When you're shooting at 16, I can shoot at 15 and 16 because I have that skill. But it's just like the Cleveland when you give it that advanced firing training skill. It allows you to fire farther than your guns are useful, essentially. When I mean, there's one point in here, and I that's one of the reasons I decided to show you this, is because I want to show you how these guns work. There's a Phoenix, which is AFK, that I'm going to be shooting at, and I wasn't just shooting at it to get free XP. I was shooting at this Phoenix because I was fascinated with how these guns perform. You don't often get to perform a live test against a live enemy that will sit still for you and allow you to try your AP from different ranges, different angles, everything. And then I switched to the HE to see how that does, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. But we got a little Kuma here, and I'm just letting everybody know I got him. Almost had him there, but those would have missed anyway. If those two missed, they probably would all missed. And then he hits the brakes wisely to score a couple more hits on me. Why not? Do a little more damage. Boom. So he goes down. Doesn't score any more hits on me because I had bladed myself to him. That's cop talk. I used to be a cop. I'm a retired cop. But yeah, when you're in a gunfight, you blade your body to your opponent to present them with a narrower target. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I think the proper World of Warships lingo is angling your ship instead of blading it, but what do you say, old dog, old lingo. So I'm like, oh, you sneaky little camper, you're just sitting back here while I'm gonna hunt you. I really didn't know he was AFK. I was in for a minute. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go get this Phoenix. He's just hiding out, camper, 8 campers, and I'm really thinking, oh, wait a minute, I don't think this guy has moved. He's not camping, the poor bastard. Probably didn't load in. Or he's either that or he's just one of these griefy people. So anyway, I'm aiming at his bow. He's dead still. And I'm using AP. Now just watch. I mean, you can learn as much as I can. That's an angled Phoenix. Phoenix has 0 armor almost. But angled like this, I'm learning about how my Phoenix will react. Look at that. Now there's a 1200. I don't mind watching this again just to learn some more. because this is all RNG too. I mean, I'm aiming dead on the ship, and moving my point of aim from bow to midships. And you see how you're dropping left, right, and this is only at 12.8. This is actually a little above the range that the Phoenix is supposed to be operating at already. Okay, now as we start to close the distance slowly, all right, we're actually going to go sub 12 now. You'll start seeing a higher percentage of these shells hitting, but still, now I'm going to turn back in. I want to make the angle even more severe. If I was smart, we're really trying to kill him, I would be going the other way and trying to get on his side. So now I'm turning in, and this is a well-angled ship now. 1 hit, 500. 2 hits, 500. Nothing. Nothing. Well, it's 1,000. Split them. Look at this. This is a lot of it's too. It's RNG. I mean, a lot of it. It's funny how we blame ourselves for poor shooting. You're like, oh, that was a bad shot. I didn't guess where he was going to go. It's like, dude, it doesn't even matter if you guess perfectly where he's going to go. Not all of these are going to hit. This guy is seriously not moving. I had to make sure I wasn't getting torpedoed. Look at this. This guy is not even moving. And at 10, and I'm shooting straight on. That just shows you how effective also it is to turn your ship dead on. So here I switch to HE, and I want to see what the difference is with HE at these same ranges. So we're going to get about the same amount of hits. We're back out to 12 again. Split skis. 3. You see this? Look at this. There's 1 for 300. No fires, nothing yet. 300. So I don't know. Is it better to use AP? Because, yes, I'm not going to set a fire with AP, but at least a bad hit is a 300 or a 5. Half of my quote-unquote good hits with an HE that supposedly doesn't matter where you hit are causing no extra damage. Look at that, another 363. So I think in the future I'm going to start using AP more in different situations where I'm not so concerned about setting a fire. Of course, never for battleships, never for destroyers, but I'm telling you, with cruisers, a lot of times I tend to switch. If I'm facing a guy and he's like this angle to me, I'll switch. So here we go, sub 9, 500s, 500. You see this? Because it has a lot to do with my angle. I'm arcing, but I'm not arcing straight down a plunge. Now they're skipping at an angle, so that will always cause a spall, even on light armor. His 70 millimeter armor becomes 120 at that angle, or whatever it is. So there's a lucky 16. So I switch back to HE just for the last 39, just for the hell of it, and put him down. But that's an interesting little, I don't know, that's part of the reason why I want to show this video. It just gives you a real good idea of what those are, 2 equal ships, and there's no, every round I missed had literally nothing to do with my aim on that. That's all. So I mean, if you count it up out of that, how many shots will you hit at best case scenario at that range? So you know, just what I'm trying to get across is don't beat yourself up too much if you're not getting a lot of hits, because there's a lot of factors that go into it besides where you're aiming. You know what I mean? You can aim just right, and though depending on the gun, depending on the trajectory, depending on the distance to the target, the type of round you're using, the ship you are, you know, different ships use different ammo. All the stuff is not the same. Like some of these German cruisers, they shoot at a very flat trajectory, so they just wail on DDs because it doesn't arc in. It just, you know, just literally slices right through them like a buzzsaw. So here we're kind of working the Wyoming a little, and we're going to wrap it up real quick. But I don't know. I found this to be interesting. The Phoenix is an interesting ship because it's just high enough tier to be able to deal with some of the advanced concepts you'll be dealing with in higher tier games. You can find yourself, you know, in a, you know, tier 6 game in this thing, and you know, you can also find yourself CO clubbing, you know, and dealing with, you know, tier 3s and whatnots. But even in those games, you still have to be careful in a Phoenix because you meet a group of St. Louis's or whatever. You have to start learning to be respectful of the range and also learning the range of a ship. For example, just off the top of your head, you don't want to go within 10 kilometers of a St. Louis, and if he has advanced firing training, it's more like 12. You just start to learn little nuggets like that help you. I probably know about 10% of what I need to know to be as good as the players that I admire. The one player I'm watching right now, his name is Flamu, Flamu. Oh my God, this guy is like gifted, is all I can say. I mean, yes, he's a good gamer. Yes, he has good strategy. He's also a good teacher, and I highly recommend. I'll put a link to it in the, to his thing in the notes. But check this guy out if you get a chance, man. I mean, he's just very. You know who else is a really good World of Warships player? Makes good videos. Is a guy called Business Six, just spelled like regular Business Six. The number six. I'll link to him too. And man, this guy is just—he's got a funny wit. He's kind of sharp. He reminds me of Sir Fosh for all you World of Tanks players. He's kind of salty, but he doesn't like go off on people, but he calls it like he sees it. He's not going to sit there and be all nice all the time like Side Strafe. He's a very aggressive player. I don't know, maybe I just like him because he plays like me. No, I'd check that. He plays like me if I was good. So anyway, CyberKnife out. Alright, so we got her done. It's funny, it comes out to be 182, 7 something, and then 2800. That's not a bad game. Got a first blood. 3 kills, couple of shot down, and that ends up being 1200 XP. Okay, here's the funny thing though. Here's just a quick look at what we did if you want to see that. Here's what I find funny though. A game before, this is my second game of the day. I usually warm up on the Phoenix. So here, let me just show you. The first game I had, almost the exact same situation. Look at this. Had a few less hits, but look at the coinage there. XP, you're down a little, but when you're talking about, sometimes you can have 2 really great games and they're almost identical. This one I almost got a cracking on. I was literally, somebody just sniped like the last 50 points of a guy that I had worked down, and I mean, I worked this guy. I'll show you which one it was. It was some Wyoming I was wailing on. Somebody just snatched it. But anyway, this one right here, I think it was this Phoenix. I was wailing on this guy and someone went, boop, took it. And that's just the way it goes. It's not like kill stealing. It just happens like that. But that could have just easily been a Kraken. But of course, my team derfed it. But it really does show you in XP. My base XP here is 758 and a loss. And these are pretty well identical games, as close as you're really going to get 2 ships back to back. And it just shows you this is how much coin you get, but it's the XP that you take the hit on. Base XP 758, and this was a ×1, of course. It was my unlock. So going back to the other one, you can easily compare and see how much of a little boost. Got a little boost in coin, a little boost in that, but it's really essentially your base XP, which really jumps up. So anyway, it's better to win than to lose, but sometimes you just got to do your best, and you do what you can do, stay in there. So anyway, CyberKnife out.